Hey everyone, this amazing ESO Network show is brought to you by our fine sponsor, Amazon.com. Please remember to shop Amazon for all your geeky needs, no matter what time of the year it is. All you need to do is go to esopodcast.com/ESO Amazon, or click on the Amazon banner on the ESO Network webpage to go to our e-store. It's the best way to shop and the best way to support this program, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. Okay, that's enough of me babbling for now. Now on with your regular scheduled show.
Exploring the multiverse of pop culture.
This is Podcasserole.
An Adam and JP show.
Oh, hey.
Doing a little bit of
a
theme
beatbox.
song.
Yeah,
Well, like the old-fashioned Cosby Show theme.
To put my sweater on here. Almost said my sweater.
My sweater.
Oh, Sean Connery.
Well,
put on my sweater.
in full disclosure, we are recording this late at night.
That is true.
Like we used to do the show.
Yeah, we're bringing it back old school.
We are doing it old school.
Because we're old fools who are so cool. Is that how it goes?
OG.
Yeah.
OG podcasters.
Yeah, back in the day, we used to record late. Sometimes 1 or 2 in the morning.
I have gone to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning after recording with you.
Yeah. And so in the past few months, maybe a year or so, it's been around like a good Friday afternoon around noonish.
Yeah.
You know,
between 10 and noon.
We're getting old now. We can't stay up too late.
No, we can't stay up
Got to
too
watch
late.
the 700 Club, take our Metamucil, get in bed, soak our teeth.
Maybe there's a Golden Girls rerun on.
That's not a bad idea.
Thank you for being a friend. Hey, we're going to do the SOB OTW coming up.
I'm excited to hear who this is.
Before we have 2 letters in SOB OTW, so no...
F-U.
What?
The 2 letters, F-U.
Maybe. If you read between the lines, that's exactly what they're saying.
Oh, wow, okay.
And then we're going to discuss, we're revisiting the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes, we are.
As we get closer to Avengers, the next Avengers film next summer. And this week, we're going to do 2008's The Incredible Hulk.
It's pretty exciting.
One of your favorites.
It's a good time for me.
Old JR is bringing back one of your favorites.
And you said you saw this recently, correct?
Yeah.
Hey, don't put it like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. ...
Yeah.
I've got some thoughts.
I'm sad. I know we're not doing that, but I'm really sad we've missed out on Hulk. Ang Lee's Hulk. I think
you know, we can do an addendum.
Yeah, we can pepper.
You're gonna make me watch that again?
I would like to,
because I have to watch these again,
yeah.
or else they all run together in my head.
Really?
Yeah. Especially maybe not the Iron Man movies.
I've seen Iron Man 2 once in theaters. Never saw it since.
Are you gonna watch it again before we do it next week?
I would like to. Yeah,
because we're gonna do Iron Man 2 next week.
You own that, right?
Do I own the second one?
Actually, I'm pretty sure it's streaming somewhere. I know Iron Man 1 is. I'm pretty sure 2 is.
Yeah, I may have Iron Man and Iron Man 3.
Oh. The missing whiplash, huh? Iron Man 2, The Case of the Missing Whiplash. It should be called that.
Before we do that, what do you have in your hand, Adam?
Oh, it's the old fidget spinner, you know. Have you heard about the fidget spinners?
It's the crazy fad of 2017.
It is. And you know me, I love a good fad.
Like pet rocks?
Yeah, exactly.
Like parachute pants?
Like Mexican jumping beans. Remember those things?
Oh, I remember those.
Those are crazy.
Like Pokemon Go?
I found out later on those are like little larvae of bugs. So
yeah.
you're actually playing with little dead... That's crazy.
Yeah, when they start jumping.
Yeah.
Stop jumping, rather.
Stop there. Yeah.
They're dead.
That's messed up, man.
Yeah.
That is messed up.
That was the 90s.
But yeah, the fidget spinner, I believe this could have been after this came out and got its popularity, but it was a tool for people with attention disorders, correct? That's what they're being marketed as now.
That's what they're being marketed as.
Yeah.
But I've yet to see one scientific study, double-blind study, that this toy is actually developed for autism or attention deficit disorder.
Well, since the day I've been able to hold things in my hand, I can't
fidgeted.
Yeah, fidget. I can't put down a bouncing ball, a slinky, silly putty. I'm a sucker for those kinds of things to keep my brain and my hand. Or like your Bob Dole pin, exactly.
Yeah, like usually, like I didn't last it, which was the first time I can remember in a long time that I didn't hold a pin the entire time.
Yeah, it's like your Bob Dole pin.
Well, I think I stopped because I'll play with it. I fidget with it, and then I always end up breaking the, what is this called? What is this part of the pin called?
Like what's what you put it on your
clip?
Pocket clip? Yeah.
The clip?
Yeah, the clip. You break that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm always a fidgeter. So
Right.
I see these things sweeping the nation, on the news, on Facebook, on Twitter, the old fidget spinners sweeping the world. And how would you describe this? I don't know what you would even say this is. I'm sure you've seen that. If not, just Google image search a fidget spinner, You'll see what I'm talking about.
They're all typically shaped that way, right?
For the most part, some have 4 prongs, some are bronze and have crazy shapes. It's kind of like the modern day version of a Pog. You have your standard Pog, but different designs and shapes, but there's the same idea to it. So you kind of hold the centerpiece and you spin it. And there are people online doing tricks and all kinds of things. I just like it to play around with. Like
I hadn't held one until you brought that one in.
Is that your first one? Yeah.
That's my first one.
And it's funny, we're in a group chat with some members of Collection Connection, and I didn't want to tell Mike from Collection Connection, Josh's co-host, that the way he was making fun of those people getting these things, that's how I got mine. If you notice, the whole time I was quiet, because he's making fun, and it's true. It is like an epidemic now. People are on social media with the black market deals, like, hey, meet me behind the subway at 3 o'clock, honk 3 times, I'll bring my fidget spinner
That's
out.
a black market fidget spinner?
I didn't buy this from the store, man.
Well, okay, take me through the process of you acquiring this.
I picked it up inside of a plastic bag with my name written on a Sharpie outside of it.
Where did you do this?
From someone's front porch.
No.
I promise you.
You went to somebody's house to get that?
Yeah, I did.
Did you pay him cash?
Yeah, cash money under the doormat.
Check or money order?
Yeah, cash money under the mat.
Under the mat?
Yeah.
Like it was slide the money under the mat?
Yeah. And I was wearing I wore my sweatpants too. Not until I got out with like a
What kind of neighborhood was this?
It was actually very nice. I think the guy had bought many from China. He had many for sale online. And the old porch pickup.
But can't you just walk into a Walgreens and buy one?
It's tough to find.
Really?
I've looked myself. I saw them once before it hit. I saw it by a Kroger checkout lane. I'm like, what is that thing? It was a full end cap, at least 30, 40 deep. I come back the next day. They're all sold out. So I haven't seen one in stores. So I had to go to a guy's front porch.
So how did you find your fidget spinner dealer?
It's this little site called Garage Sale. Have you used Garage Sale before?
I have used Garage Sale.
A virtual garage sale. Basically every city in the country has it. It's a nice little ad and plug for Garage Sale. Check that app and service out. So you can go on there and search things you want, and you search the fidget spinner.
Is this the guy that called me a chuck wagon?
Yeah, not the same guy.
Okay.
Same service, not the same guy, though.
Yeah.
And long story short, you can search what you want, and you, in your sweats, you can bring a wad of cash out, stick it under somene's mat, and get what you want from their house.
So this is the guy that still owes you money from Garage Sale?
No, not that. Same service, different guy.
Yeah.
But I was wearing my sweats, too. It's funny because, Mike did make fun of those people. And it is a weird little service to go on there and meet strangers to buy fidget spinners. But I think it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's an experience. It's a story.
I hope he can get me some audio.
Yeah.
Because apparently where Mike lives, the local radio station still does like a radio, they call it swap and shop, radio trade post, some radio stations call it. And he says every day people are calling in like, I got me a dozen or two of them fidget spinners. I'm looking to get rid of them. And then somebody else will call in, hey, I was wanting to talk to the guy with the fidget spinners. I don't get paid till Friday. But I was wondering if you'd hold me one.
So I don't think a lot of people know what Swap and Shop, it describes Swap and Shop, if you can.
That is Swap and Shop.
Yeah, basically like a verbal Craigslist.
It is a verbal. It was Craigslist. It's been Craigslist for 50 years.
So people would
before
call
Craigslist.
They would call into a radio station, say what they have for sale, and people would call in after that and say they want to buy what he has for sale?
Yes. You call in. I've got some pole beans, an old tractor tire, and a box of fidget spinners.
Yeah.
And then you leave, and my number is 555
an old jar of mustard
2345.
Yeah.
And so the host writes it down. Okay, so you got the old jar of mustard, the pole beans, the tractor tire, and a box of fidget spinners. And remember, that number is 555-2345. And so people can call that number if they're interested.
Wow.
But then sometimes people don't catch the number, so they call Swap and Shop during the show to request the number for the item that they, maybe didn't write the number for.
Is there a place where I live now? Can I hear this on any radio station? Is that a possible thing?
If you find any small town AM station in the South, chances are they do a version of Swap and Shop.
Man, now on
it's the first thing. It's the first thing I ever hosted on radio. The first thing I ever did on radio was a review of Independence Day.
Wow. Yeah.
It was like, because I went to see Independence Day, and then I went to the radio station. It was on with the morning show guy and talked about Independence Day. But later that summer, they let me host Swap and Shop.
Wow.
And it was the most nerve-wracking experience of my life.
Did you have to handwrite the details
Yeah,
down?
you had to handwrite everything down.
Wow.
So I'm nervous about being on the air. You've got all these pots and buttons you got to hit. You got to get the person on the phone. There was a lot of dial tones, my first, because I'd hit the wrong line. and then I couldn't write as fast as they were talking about their pole beams and tractor tires. Wow. And dude, I'm telling you, that really is an example of like items people will call in with.
Now I want a swap and shop used fidget spinner.
Yeah, well,
there's something with that history.
Mike told me that the fidget spinners are very popular on swap and shop these days.
Speaking of Mike, he called me today, and he was shopping at an old, I think, mom and pop like rental store.
Yeah,
and he found a rental copy they had for sale of Redneck Zombies, and he called me and asked if I wanted that, and I said yes, because I have 2 copies of the movie now, but I've never had like a rental copy of it.
Right,
there's some kind of like oomph
with
to
the
that.
VHS cover art.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'm like, yes. When you go back tomorrow, if it's not taken, please buy that movie.
So I'm going to quiz you on some fads throughout the years,
okay.
and I wanted to see if you participated in these.
Okay.
Because you are totally fidget spinner. You're on board with this.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to a stranger's house to buy a $6 fidget spinner with a baggie with your name on it, this sounds a lot like a drug deal.
Did I tell you how much it cost? Because that's exactly the price.
I just guessed.
That's creepy. That was exactly $6.
It was $6.
Yeah.
Now, is that up? Do you think that was up price?
A little. I think he probably got this for about $4 a pop.
So you think he's making $2?
If I had to guess.
$2 a spinner.
Yeah.
That's not a bad profit
Not
margin.
bad. He's probably turning them fast, too.
And he'll probably even go up higher. Like this week, 6. Bigger demand next week.
And I chose
we're
my
talking
color.
7 or 8.
You can choose your color.
Can I have a green one?
Yeah.
Okay, Adam. I'll leave it in a plastic bag with your name on it.
I'll show you pictures. It's funny how it works.
You mentioned Pogs.
Yeah.
Were you part of the Pog phenomenon?
Hardcore. I had many cylindrical tubes of Pogs.
Yeah.
From Michael Jordan to AC/DC, whatever you wanted, I had Pogs.
Really?
Love them. To this day, I see it and I get kind of sweaty and excited.
Really?
I still love Pogs, yeah.
Digimon.
Not so much, more of a Pokemon guy, if that's where we're going next.
No. Well, I was gonna. Well, Pokemon, I guess. Well, but that's kind of long lasting.
Yeah,
that wasn't really a fad.
I watched it for a while. Oh, yeah, it's some good.
But no, I mean not Digimon. Was Digimon the what am I thinking?
Tamagotchis.
Tamagotchi.
Yes, love Tamagotchi.
That's it.
Yeah, sometimes called Gigapet or Tamagotchi. Love those. Had multiples in my backpack.
If you don't remember, the Tamagotchi was a keychain.
Yeah.
With some really bad graphics on it. Mm-hmm. That was your pet, and you had to feed it.
Let it sleep, clean up after its poop.
Or it would die.
Yeah. And you come check it momentarily every few minutes or hours, and you see the status and progress of it. The Tamagotchi. Yeah.
Parachute pants. You're probably a little young.
Yeah, I wanted them, never got those.
Yeah.
Never had them, though.
What's another fad?
No, you never fall for these fads? And so the difference is I go into these fads knowing full well that's not long-lasting. I'm in for the short haul.
Oh, well, I mean, I can go back to recent history.
Yeah.
What were the Nintendo?
Oh, Amiibos.
Amiibos.
Exactly. I'm a sucker for those.
Yeah.
I love I guess we could say
Mad Balls.
Yeah, I mean that was from my younger days.
Are you maybe you're in a transition period here? Are you transitioning?
Well, I mean I've got all Mad Balls, so I had to get something else to collect.
You're transitioning from Mad Balls to fidget spinners.
I mean I have all the Mad Balls.
Well, happy transitioning.
Until Wave 3 comes out, I can buy no more. I'm a sucker for a fad, but the good thing is I know going in it's a fad. I'm just in for the short haul.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you unload all these months later.
But I have no regrets.
Guys, I'm getting rid of my Amiibos.
It's so sad.
You were so proud of that one Mario you bought at MomoCon.
I know. But because I'm a collector, not for resale value, but if something's very, very pricey, I'll collect it and hold on to it with the pride knowing that's how much it costs.
Yeah.
The minute it starts going down in value, I don't sell it because I'm losing money. I sell it because it has no value at that point.
Oh, Garbage Pail Kids, I know.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Love the Garbage Pail Kids.
That was a big fad.
Yeah.
I participated in that one.
Did you? That was the one you did? What else? Any kind of like toys? Any kind of anything? No novelty thing at all?
Stomper trucks.
Okay.
Maybe.
That counts?
That was kind of a fad.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Stompers.
That counts.
If you don't know what they were, Google them.
I'm sure you did baseball cards.
Yeah, but that's kind of timeless. I mean, baseball cards are still around.
Yeah, but who's actually buying those?
I don't know. I'm not.
I mean, at least I thought back then this is going to be my grandchildren's tuition for college.
The baseball cards?
Yeah, not so much.
No.
I still have binders and binders from like late 80s, early 90s.
I still got Kirby Puckett's
pretty much.
Rookie card.
Yeah, pretty much. I have so many. And to me, things I thought they were valuable. And I haven't checked them in decades, but who
knows? Was it Kirby Puckett that had FU written on the bottom of his bat?
Yeah, it was Kirby.
Yeah.
Big Curb.
Yeah. I had something. Versus.
Oh, yeah.
Would you call Versus a fad?
Yeah.
Describe Versus.
Versus is a tabletop trading, a TCG, a trading card game. Imagine, man, how do I have a wife? Imagine Magic the Gathering. Imagine Pokemon cards. Imagine Yu-Gi-Oh! But Versus was a system meant for Marvel and DC characters. You could have a deck you create yourself of Green Lantern versus an Avengers deck, or a Hulk deck versus the Mutants, or Superman versus Green Goblin. So it's kind of DC versus Marvel, or whatever you want. A trading card game built on that. And still, if they still made those cards, I would still be playing that today.
Yeah, I was going to say, does that really count as a fad, though?
I mean, it's the same as like Garbage Pail Kids. I mean, would you have continued that if they kept making those?
No.
Sometimes you have to stop because like Mad Balls. I stopped collecting because they stopped making.
That was my first foray into capitalism collecting.
Like which ones? The
Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh, yeah, that was it.
I would buy and resell.
That's where it all began, huh?
Mm-hmm. It all began with Garbage Pail Kids.
So I don't think it's a fad if it stops. Like, I mean, I would still be playing Versus. I mean, Hearthstone kind of fills the void, but I miss Versus dealing.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't call Hearthstone a fad. It's still around.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. I think a fad has to be something that's in that, like Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
It clearly was a fad last summer. Like the Kardashians.
It's a long line. We're looking almost a decade right now.
I know.
Like we thought John Cena was a fad. It's not really happening like that. That's how it works.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed your fidget spinner.
I highly recommend a fidget spinner. It's just fun to fidget with. Like I said, for a long time in my life, everywhere you saw me through high school, I had a bouncing ball at all times. Really. Mm-hmm. I always had a bouncing ball.
See, I've never been into stuff like that.
Really?
Wasn't into yo-yos.
Oh, yeah, you hate yo-yos.
I hate yo-yos.
That's un-American, man.
I was into the paddle ball a little bit.
Oh, I love the paddle ball. See that stuff, man.
But
I was like an easy kid to shop for, I guess. I mean, anything from the dollar toy aisle, I would just eat it up.
Were you into Skip It?
A little too much jumping for me.
Skip It was a fad.
A little too much of a heartbeat. Too much exercise going on there.
Well, do you think Power Rangers was a fad? But that's still around.
No, I mean,
but that was so huge there for about a year.
Yeah, but at that point you could say like a Mickey Mouse. I mean, in the 40s he was huge, but now not so much.
Yeah,
timeless. I mean, Power Rangers will be forever.
What about Tickle Me Elmo, like you mentioned?
Yeah, that was huge. I think that was a fad for sure.
Cabbage Patch Kids.
Yeah,
that was a fad.
Yeah, Beanie Babies.
Oh, Beanie Babies is a prime example.
What are the other ones called? Like the almost Beanie Babies, but you had a code online. You would place them. Stuffed animals. It was like a few years ago. I'll look it up and later on I'll tell you.
Furbies?
No, but it was like a Beanie Baby.
Was Furbies a fad?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. But the Beanie Babies had a code. You'd put them online. Oh, it's bothering me.
Were they made by Ty?
Maybe so. I'll look it up in a bit. And we'll talk about it because that's bothering me. You would basically put the code in online, and at that point you'd have like basically a Tamagotchi on your PC, and so you'd have it's like an early idea of an amiibo. You have the physical stuffed animal, but then you have the living being on your computer. There's the same representation of that. Z-Pet, I don't know. I'll look it up.
Xenomorph.
Hey,
I want to get your opinion on something.
Okay.
So I'd have to do this kind of gingerly.
Yeah.
But so I've had some meetings over the last few weeks that hopefully changes my position in the future.
Yeah.
How about that?
Okay.
And so I'm in this one meeting, and I want to get your opinion on this. I'm in this one meeting, and the guy's asking me some questions, and I answer his question, and I really don't feel I'd been opinionated up until this point.
Yep.
Okay, what's the answer?
Webkins.
That
was bothering me so much. Okay, I'm with you now. I'm back.
So I really don't think I'd been overly opinionated up until this point. Mm-hmm. And so he asked me this question, and I give him his answer, and I tell what I think. And I say the phrase, "If I can be frank." He kind of grins and says, "Well, I've only known you for a few minutes, but I don't think I have a choice. But that's okay. I like that." What does that mean? Am I frank and I don't realize it? Am I overly opinionated?
Well, I mean, yeah. But it's not a bad thing. I mean, clearly he wanted you to continue.
I guess.
I mean, it's what you need for that job.
But that just kind of threw me off.
Yeah?
I don't know. If I can be frank, well, I don't think I have a choice, but I've only known you a few minutes.
I mean, frank's not always a bad thing.
No.
Yeah. So take it as it is.
If I can be Frank Sinatra. Yeah. If I can be old Blue Eyes.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing.
Okay.
It's an attribute.
I just thought that was it kind of threw me off a minute.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, have I been a jackass this entire time?
Jackass.
Am I the jackass? Am I the chuckwagon?
Jackwagon?
Was it Jackwagon or Jackwagon?
Chuckwagon is a different
We have to tell that story. It's been a long time.
Go for it, yeah.
So this Virage Sale app.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've kind of forgotten the details. It's like hearing it for the first time again.
So you and I were both selling some stuff on Virage Sale at one point. Video games, I think.
Yeah.
Because I had a bunch I was unloading. You had already sold some. The same guy came to both of us.
Yeah.
When he came to you, he worked out some sort of...
It was like a monthly payment.
It was like, yeah, some sort of monthly payment scam where like you didn't give him all the cartridges at once, right?
Right, I didn't, yeah.
Right, but you would
hold them for
him, and then you would take some to him. He would pay you a little bit,
yeah,
but you weren't selling them to anyone else,
right?
Which I thought was completely dumb.
Yeah,
like I was like, why would you do that? Just tell him no and sell them to the next person.
It took a while, but eventually they were all sold to him, and it's possible those would never be sold at all. Just a possibility.
Possibly, not likely.
Right.
So the same guy comes to me when I have a bunch of video games on this app, Garage Sale.
Did he try to do the same?
And he tried to do the same thing to me.
That's funny.
I'm interested in all of them. Okay, well, that's great. Well, here's how much it is going to cost for all of them, which comes down to about, this much a cartridge. Well, I was wondering, I'm kind of in between jobs right now. First of all, if you're in between jobs, why are you buying stupid video game cartridges on a, ads app? Like a personal ads app.
Yeah.
And, I'm kind of in between jobs right now. I was just wondering if I could work out like a monthly payment type thing. And I was like, no. I don't do that. I'm not Walmart.
Didn't he bring my name into this somehow?
Yeah, somehow he figured out that you and I knew each other.
Yeah.
Because Adam's doing that for me too. And so he starts to get like, I said no, I don't feel. Actually, my first answer was, I'm sorry, I'm not comfortable doing that. It's one price for all of them. Well, if you could just let me pay, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm really not comfortable doing that. Third time, he comes back with me with this whole, I want to pay you some money every month. And that's when I said, I'm sorry, I'm not Walmart.
You said that, didn't you?
Yeah. I told him I'm not Walmart. You can't, what's it called when
layaway.
Layaway.
Yeah,
I don't offer layaway. I'm not Walmart. This is it. One price for all of these. Well, your buddy Adam's letting me do this. And then that's when I come back.
He did that, man.
Yeah, that's when I come back at him. Yeah, and I know how much money you owe Adam. So no, we're not doing it.
I mean, he was in the hole like $600 at one time.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy to think about.
I might have even told him the number just to prove that I knew.
Do you remember I'm over here like rubbing my forehead like, oh man, he owes me $600 in video games.
Yes.
What a hole to be in.
And so then that's when he comes back. Well, you don't have to be a jackwagon about it. Then just take my first answer of no. Maybe I am over-opinionated.
It's like, don't be so frank about it.
Maybe I am the jackass.
I forgot about that. He owed me so much money in games.
Yeah. I was concerned about it. And I didn't even have anything to do with it. It was your games.
But it was almost a year, but he finally paid it all off.
Man, that guy.
Maybe like a month or two would go by. Hey, can we meet up for $50? And it was kind of funny because I would pick out, however much you could pay that month, I would pick out $50 worth of games to take to him.
What if I gave you $25 at a free car wash because that's where I'm working this week? Okay.
Yeah.
Clearly the guy didn't have a lot of money. No business buying video games.
No, but I think his purpose now is to open a retail shop selling that kind of thing now.
There's services where you get your supply.
Right, yeah.
You don't have to buy them individually on Garage Sale. So, Adventures in Garage Sale.
Garage Sale's pretty fun.
You don't have to be a jackwagon about it.
I sold some wine glasses today on Garage Sale. Sold them myself.
Were they flutes?
No, they're like XL big ones.
Oh, okay.
And so the woman who buys them got for like $5. Pretty good deal. 4 XL wine glasses, $5, still in the package, still brand new, and pays them under the mat. I picked the mat up when she leaves. She paid $5 and nickels and dimes, not even in a bag, like just loose.
Are you serious?
And so I have 0 fingernails, so I'm there with
You're scraping up change
with
off
my butt crack showing for 5 minutes straight, trying to pick up nickels and dimes under my welcome mat. That happened today.
Bad review, right?
Well, you can't. You can only positive review. You can do praises, like star numbers. If you no review just means nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Yeah.
I hadn't been on that app in forever.
Even eBay is
since that whole debacle.
eBay's kind of like that now too. You can't really do negative feedback.
I had heard that.
Yeah.
That eBay has kind of become almost anti-seller.
It's strictly buyer.
It's like a buyer's app.
Yeah, that's what I mean. 99% of the time, even if the seller or the buyer got exactly what they wanted and paid for, they could say it's not as described or say it wasn't shipped at all, and without a question, the seller has to give a full refund. Like eBay takes it from their PayPal account with no questions asked.
Oh, so there's no way I would.
It's crazy.
Why would you even want to sell?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And you got burned selling your wine glasses.
No, yeah. Well, I mean,
my
fingers kind of hurt.
Were there pennies?
There's nickels and dimes.
Just nickels and dimes?
Wow, they weren't even in a Ziploc bag. Like, they were just like someone just vomited coins.
When did the under the mat thing become the thing to do?
That's where you put it now.
Because when I would do that, I like meet at Target in the parking lot.
Yeah, now people, it's too social. I mean, I think I sold 3 things today, and I bought 2. I had 5 transactions, all under mat and transactions.
I would be so tempted that when the person came up, like I'd watch, and when they're sliding the money under the mat, just open the door. Well, hello.
Hello.
Hope you enjoy those wine glasses.
And people are so flaky. You put things out for them, they have these excuses. Hey, I broke my toe. Hey, the car broke down. It's crazy.
My cat just threw a bunch of nickels and dimes.
I sold my car on Garage Sale. That's how I did it. I sold my car on
That was on Garage Sale?
That was on Garage Sale last year. Wow. Yeah, so I do some wheelings and dealings on Garage Sale.
Yeah, you sure do.
Sold a car, got my fidget spinner.
I missed that car.
Yeah, it was fun.
Mm-hmm. We had matching cars almost.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
That wasn't awkward at all.
Not at all.
When we both showed up at the same place.
Wait a minute.
Is one black and one white? Yeah, that's how we roll. Leave us alone.
We should have named them Amos and Andy. Dang it.
Why
didn't we do that?
Yeah. We should have named it black and white cookies.
Yeah. It's true. We should have.
You ready to do this week's SOB OTW?
Let's do it.
So we encourage you to be social with us.
Please do.
You don't have to leave it under our mat on our front porch.
You can if you want.
You can email us, ajp@adamandjp.com. Find us on Twitter @adamandjp, or Facebook even.
Yeah, facebook.com/adamandjp. I just love jamming to the song. That's a good tasteful cowbell too.
Pretty strong. Did we play the Cowbell Heroes song?
Yeah, I think so.
I think we would get in trouble for that one. Yeah, so you do that, and you may be the SOB OTW. We didn't do one last week.
Right, so you're doubling up now.
We're going to do 2 this week. The first one is, I hope I get this name correct, Liam.
There we go.
And Louisville, Kentucky. There are rumors that Robert Zemeckis or Sam Raimi might direct the new Flash movie. Have you heard this?
I've not heard this, no.
I think Sam Raimi has since been eliminated from this possibility, but I have heard that. Might direct the new Flash movie. Who would you like to see direct a Marvel or DC movie?
Ooh.
Is there a director that you would like to see?
That's a good question.
Robert Zemeckis doing the Flash movie. That's interesting.
Yeah. I'll be down for that. Of course, I like Sam Raimi, but he's dipped his toes at least a few times in superhero stuff, so I think his time is done for that. Zemeckis would be awesome. I know he's coming off of a pretty big critical flop, but I think Guy Ritchie could do some pretty cool stuff with it. It's weird because you hear stuff like even the great comic book movie directors now. 5 years ago, I wouldn't say James Gunn would be a great one.
The Russo brothers.
I wouldn't say what's his name from Iron Man?
Jon Favreau.
I wouldn't say these guys are good superhero movie directors, but they are. I think with a darker, maybe like an Underworld kind of tone, with even Mr. Sinister, I would like to see like a Rob Zombie directed Mr. Sinister, something like that. You know,
really,
that'd be kind of cool.
Oh wow,
yeah, something like that kind of darkness. I think he.
But do you think Rob Zombie could direct an MCU movie?
I know I'm in the minority. I'm a huge Rob Zombie fan and his directorial stuff, so I think he could be done.
But you think he could work within that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
that system.
I think so. I don't think all of his stuff has to be so.
His Mr. Sinister would be amazing.
Right? See, yeah. I think that could work.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. I think that's all I can think of right now, though.
What about Pacific Rim guy, Del Toro?
Oh, yeah. They've teased that for so long.
Because they were talking about him doing Justice League Dark.
Yeah, like 2011, 2012?
I think him doing a superhero movie would be cool.
Yeah.
I still would like to see. I mean, Edgar Wright was supposed to do Ant-Man.
Right.
And that didn't fall through, so there's no reason why he couldn't jump over to DC.
Yeah.
Maybe do something with DC.
Right. But yeah, I think Guy Ritchie needs to do something. I think his talents are being wasted, the stuff he's doing. Could be his own fault, but I think he has more talent than the money he's drawing in.
What about like a George Miller doing one of these?
That'd be cool. Yeah. I like that.
Like,
for me, it's like it's a borderline between like a Zack Snyder or George Miller look, and we see what Zack Snyder's doing and does. You know what I mean? Like to me, it's close-ish. Like what's going on there
between George Miller and Zack Snyder?
I don't know why. Like there's I know George has more of like a practical feel to it, but
yeah, and he does enjoy color,
right? Yeah, it's well, sometimes I mean, even like what's his name? His last big movie. I just had a brain.
Fury Road.
Yeah, that one. That's pretty colorless.
No,
so?
it's at parts, but
yeah.
There's some like the day scenes, like through the desert.
Yeah, I guess like their actual
there's
costumes.
A lot
and
of great color. In
yeah.
But I'm like you. I think these not unknown directors, but unexpected directors is where it works out the best.
Right. Like I'm so curious on Ryan Coogler for Black Panther.
Exactly.
I think that'll be awesome.
That will be fantastic. I have no doubts that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So I would be more excited of someone like a Ryan Coogler or a James Gunn or the Russo brothers coming into this and doing one of these movies than a Robert Zemeckis.
Or a Scorsese or a Spielberg or something like that.
I think the thing with this DC movie, The Flash, I think DC's just looking for I think that's why Joss Whedon is directing Batgirl.
Yeah.
Is because it's a huge name. Everybody loved the Avengers. So they're hoping a little magic they can bring back into the DC world.
Yeah. I thought after Avengers 2 he was done with comic movies.
Yeah.
It's weird. He just jumped ship.
But he had talked before about how he would like to do a Batgirl movie. Way before the Avengers.
Pulled the old Jim Lee on me.
He did.
I've lost all faith.
He really did.
Yeah, he did.
With that said, as far as DC goes, I think DC is going to be now. All early indications are Wonder Woman is better than some thought it would be. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. That's what early indications are. But regardless, until you get Zack Snyder completely pulled out of all of that, you're going to be, walking a tightrope with those DC movies. And I don't care what
the
director
money they
you
make.
pull
I mean, it won't happen for a long time.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know why everyone sees that but DC, but Warner Brothers.
They just see the statements. They see the account afterwards.
Yeah. Zack Snyder's the problem.
Yeah.
Y'all.
Hey, y'all.
And Matt from Henderson, Nevada, he writes in, I recently listened to your summer movie special from last year.
Oh, wow.
Curious as to what non-superhero movies you might be looking forward to this year. Also,
The Founder.
Did Adam enjoy The Founder?
So funny. I still have not seen that movie. Can I tell you that?
It's out there.
Yeah.
You can probably Redbox it.
It's in Redbox. I saw it in Redbox. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still to this day, it's one of my major regrets in life. I have many, but saying that I'm looking forward to The Founder the most in the summer of 2016 is top 5.
Maybe.
Immediately in the middle of the sentence, I'm like, why am I saying this?
I think he's probably drawing that more from us making fun of it.
Yeah.
I think it was so fast
right,
in the summer movie special.
Yeah.
But mine was Suicide Squad, if that makes you feel better.
Mine, I mean, in my head, that's what mine was as well. Maybe that's why I try to have a different answer maybe, but I was really pumped for that. Maybe too much so. As far as this year, though, that's a
non-superhero movie.
That's a good question. I don't know if I have any non-superhero movies I'm looking forward to big time. Name some off, and I may be pumped for it. I'm having troubles even thinking about that.
Well, we mentioned Edgar Wright, Baby Driver.
Yeah. Yeah, I still haven't seen too much about that, to be honest. I've heard people speak of it. I haven't seen an actual preview of it.
Yeah, it looks like it could be interesting.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be one of those that's supposed to have a great soundtrack, too.
Yeah.
Because it's basically about a getaway driver who has a condition where his ears are constantly ringing at a very high volume so that he listens to music really loud to drown out the noise that's always in his head.
Interesting.
So apparently the soundtrack to that movie is supposed to be,
Okay.
and it's great. It's gonna have humor in it.
I do know one. I'm gonna get some crap for this, but I think Baywatch could be funny. I'm looking forward to Baywatch. I'm serious.
I think this is the 2017 Founder for Adam.
No, I told you that beforehand.
We'll be back here in October, and you still haven't seen Baywatch. There's no way you're going to see it in the theater.
I won't see it in theaters.
I mean,
no.
Why would you?
The only movie I see in theaters now are comic book movies because they give me the most joy.
Yeah.
That's the only ones I did for the most part. But, I'm an Efron fan. I love The Rock. Let's do it.
Effing Rock.
Yeah, Effing Rock.
That's how they're teasing that.
Really? Wow. I see it. I laugh at the trailer. It makes me giggle. I think it could work.
I just see Chips. I just see Starsky and Hutch.
I guess, but
I just see everyone like Dukes of Hazzard. I see all these shows
really
from the 80s
so?
and 90s.
You think so?
That I don't know. yeah, I have no interest in seeing that movie
See,
whatsoever.
I had no actual interest in I think that's why I'm so disconnected from Baywatch itself. I don't take this personally. Well, like the Brady Bunch. Fat Albert. I was pissed because I love those original source contents, and they're bastardizing them for cinema. And for Baywatch, I was not a Baywatch fan whatsoever. Maybe late night with some Udon, some Pamela Anderson, but not
Some Hoff.
yeah, not for entertainment value. And so I don't have a problem with it.
Was she the only? Was she the only like female from Baywatch to go on? Because there were plenty of girls on that show over the years.
And Gina Lee Nolan and
Okay, no, apparently I'm wrong.
yeah, I was that guy. And even Carmen Electra was there. I think she was.
Was Carmen Electra on Baywatch?
I could be wrong. I always get she and Yasmin Bleeth mixed up.
Oh, she was. I remember her being on there for sure.
Yeah, and Gina Lee Nolan was the other blonde, other buxom blonde.
Wow,
You don't know these? Come on.
you are so good at your Baywatch. Did you watch Baywatch Nights,
No, I never did. No.
where apparently they solved crime at night?
Really? Is that what happened?
Yeah, and I think it was centered around Hoff and was there a cop on Baywatch?
I believe
he
so,
rode
yeah.
an ATV.
Yeah.
I think it was a buddy cop show with those two.
Wow.
I think is what that was.
We say it many times, but check out just on YouTube the full episode of Hulk Hogan's Baywatch episode. It's too good.
Yeah,
But
Erica
Macho-
Olenek.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
She was one of the original Baywatch girls.
Yeah.
What happened to her
Yeah.
since Under Siege?
Right. Wow. That's funny.
I can't relate that name.
Yeah. We brought it up.
Yep.
What about you? Summer movies that aren't comic movies?
Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk
Yeah. Yeah.
looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a movie coming out late in the summer called Detroit that's I think you would not have any interest in whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's like historic and a drama. I'm kind of looking forward to that too.
Yeah.
And it's got The Force Awakens, Finn,
John Boyega. Yeah.
John Boyega.
Okay.
John
I didn't
Boyega's
see that
in it.
trailer. I saw that.
Yeah. So I'm kind of interested in that.
Uh-huh.
Also want to see It Comes at Night,
Oh yeah.
the horror movie.
Yeah.
I think that looks real.
What about
have you
the-
seen the trailer for that?
What about the Emoji Movie? I'm joking.
No.
No. I see the trailer for It Comes at Night. I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested in that.
Yeah.
To see if that can't be like a, I don't know, like a Conjuring or something
Yeah.
like that for this year.
I know it's not summer, but I'm really pumped for it. If that counts.
Oh, Stephen King's It.
Really pumped
I mean,
for that.
That's early in the fall.
Yeah.
Or is that November?
I think October, November.
It's October.
think.
It makes perfect sense to put it in October.
Yeah, that's going to be. I'm pretty sure it's going to be fantastic. Mm-hmm. When does Dark Tower come out? Is that summer?
Dark Tower is in the fall. No, Dark Tower is summer.
Okay.
Yeah, the first one.
Looking
Dark Tower is summer.
Dark Tower summer. Yeah, look forward to that one for sure. Yeah.
Stephen King's the new thing, man.
Yeah, he's back.
I'm back, baby.
I want a proper Stan movie. It's a great story that could be done well. It has to be like it though, in multiple parts. Same for Dark Tower. I mean, I don't know how they're doing that.
See, I've heard a lot of stuff about it, and I don't think everyone realizes that this is two movies.
Right.
Because I've heard a lot of like professional movie people on their shows talk about, well, they've only taken the first half of the book where they're all kids. Yeah, and then next year there's going to be a movie where they're all grown up.
Right.
This is two movies.
Yeah.
It has to be.
It's like the VHSs.
Honestly, it could be three movies.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
If they wanted to, they could do three
Even the
movies.
two-part miniseries VHS had a lot of stuff taken out.
Yeah,
I believe,
a lot.
from what I read.
A lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some movies we're looking forward
A
to.
few, not many.
that aren't
It's sad. Like if
superhero.
you ask me what I'm looking forward to the next 12 months, 95% of those are comic book movies. I don't want it to be
I
that
can tell
way.
you what
It's
they are.
just what it is. I mean, I can't help it.
Spider-Man: Homecoming,
Yeah, I mean, every single comic movie except for DC.
Thor: Ragnarok,
There you go.
and Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Yeah, okay, that's not a comic book movie. That works.
Those are the three you're looking forward to the most.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's it.
And Baywatch.
Yeah. It'll be funny.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
I mean, I think well, yeah, every comedy has a humorous part
Right,
in it.
yeah.
But it just seems too over the top.
Think so?
For me, yeah. They're just trying way too hard.
I'm an Efron guy.
Even and the more trailers I see, and it just feels like, hey, look, we're funny. We're promised. You won't be disappointed. Though you probably will be.
I want a shirt
But The Rock's
that
hilarious.
says I'm an Efron guy. I'll stand by it.
Was it High School Musical?
I mean, it was yeah.
Is that where you fell in love with Zac Efron?
Love is a strong word.
It doesn't seem to be.
I appreciate the man's talents.
Really?
Did you ever see? What's the movie where he's old? He's the guy from Friends,
He's Matthew Perry.
right? And he turns young. What's that movie called?
13 going on 30.
Was that what it was? See, I thought that was the name of it, but then that sounds like the Jennifer Garner movie.
That's the Jennifer Garner movie.
13 again, Forever Young, 17 at 17 again.
17 again.
There we go.
Forever Young. That was Mel Gibson.
Right, yeah. 17 again.
31 Dresses.
Yeah, that's it too. But yeah, I enjoy his works.
You celebrate his catalog.
Much like Harry.
Do you have any Zac Efron movies on DVD?
I don't think so. I had to think about that, but I don't believe so.
Didn't he do one of those, didn't he do one of the Notebook movies? The guy that wrote the Notebook?
Nicholas Sparks?
Nicholas Sparks.
I don't own those on DVD, but he may have.
Well, I know he was in one.
That makes sense. It does make sense.
Because when we went to see the Avengers, they were playing it in the theater when everybody was walking in.
Really?
Don't you remember?
Kind of.
The first Avengers movie.
Yeah.
We go in for the midnight showing.
Uh-huh.
The screen is dark, and then all of a sudden the end of that movie comes up on the screen.
Oh, yeah. I remember that now.
Like he was kissing a girl in the rain.
Yeah. It's like every Efron movie.
And the entire theater booed. Boo!
We want Iron Man. Screw you.
Iron Man. Iron Man. All right. Well, thanks to Liam and Matt for writing in.
Yeah.
You are this week's SOB OTW. Coming up, we continue our review of every movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
So excited for this.
If we haven't talked enough superheroes yet, it continues.
Next.
Hey guys, are you looking for a new podcast to listen to? Something a little on the geeky side, but lots and lots of fun with some crazy dudes? Well, if I got something for you, it's called the Vitamin Geek Podcast. I'm the host, Corey Keelan, and I'm here with my friends Eric Williams.
What's up?
Patrick Sykes.
Greetings, everyone.
And Michael Zippy Miller.
Hey there.
We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. Horror movies, science fiction. We love Star Wars. Who doesn't love Star Wars? If you don't like Star Wars, get the hell off of here. Check us out, man. Vitamin Geek Podcast right here on the ESO Network.
It's all part of the plan.
We've never seen anything even close to your levels of exposure. That you survived an event like that, it's beyond my comprehension.
I don't want to control it. I want to get rid of it.
As far as I'm concerned, that man's whole body is property of the U.S. Army.
What was that?
There's only one thing that can fight that. It's in me. Maybe if I can control it, I can use it.
So in 2008, following the success of Iron Man, which came out of nowhere, the second movie, the second official movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is The Incredible Hulk.
And this, before we go too deep into this, it still to this day saddens me because I think, of course, I'm trying to keep my bias out of this, but Incredible Hulk is my favorite Marvel character, favorite comic character of all time. So I'm still confused to this day how he can have such a huge pop and be pretty much, if not one of the most famous characters in the Avengers lineup when he's on screen. But to this day, he can't have a proper and successful solo movie to himself. Before we go too deep into it, I'm just confused by that fact. People look upon this movie, and even more so in 2003's Hulk, and they kind of have a meh feel about it. I don't, because I'm a fanboy, but I'm confused why the mass does.
Well, I think 2003's Hulk let a lot of people down.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was critically panned, and then once that happened, the audience didn't go see it.
Besides, it's cool to say it's not good. What do people not like about it? Looking back, the graphics aren't great, but this was...
And it was kind of all over the place.
This was 15 years ago.
It was... 2003's Hulk was kind of all over the place.
You think so?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And a bit confusing at parts.
Mm-hmm.
And a bit ridiculous even for a comic book movie at parts. But that's Ang Lee's Hulk.
Uh-huh.
And then 5 years later, Hulk hands are on the clearance aisle at Toys R Us.
Oh, yeah.
From Ang Lee's Hulk. And Marvel comes back out and basically reboots the Hulk.
Yeah.
But I will say they're very smart in that they don't retell the origin.
Yeah, they call it a requel. It's the first time I ever heard this term. Yeah. It's like a reboot sequel.
Right.
Because they act like the first one happened, but maybe
But they retcon the story
Yeah.
to fit what they wanted the Hulk to be in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
And they do that all in the opening credits of the movie.
Right, yeah.
You see his experiment, and I'm telling you, and I think, and you may know more of this than I do, Ed Norton was a huge fan of the TV show, right?
Oh, yeah, big time, yeah.
Yeah, with Bill Bixby.
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many homages paid to the Incredible Hulk. I didn't even realize it until I was rewatching it.
Yeah.
The Incredible Hulk TV show. Even some of the shots in the opening credits look like the opening scenes in the TV show.
That's true. We're not the biggest fan of this guy here, but we can thank Lou Ferrigno, because as the story goes, Lou Ferrigno was the one, the executives after Eric Bana came and went, they're trying to find a new Bruce Banner. They go to Lou Ferrigno and say, we won't hold much credit to this, much merit to it, but Lou, who do you think should play the next Bruce Banner? And Lou Ferrigno says, out of all the current actors, that Edward Norton reminds him of Bill Bixby. So talk to him. And they went to Edward Norton, and that was history made there.
I think
of Lou Ferrigno.
Edward Norton was great for this.
Yeah, great Bruce Banner. And to this day, I love what Mark Ruffalo's done, but to me, my Bruce Banner is Edward Norton. Just the look and that kind of feel and that calmness and the stream beaniness, and I see him as a better Bruce Banner myself.
Well, it's cool that when he transforms into the Hulk, it's almost like the Hulk still has Edward Norton's eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
And that goes a long ways. Mm-hmm. And in rewatching, I would almost say that the CG of that Hulk I like more than the current Hulk.
Yeah.
Which I love the current Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
Same here,
with the Mark Ruffalo. And he looks like Mark Ruffalo more so than that Hulk looked like Ed Norton. But there was something about and they really focused a lot on the Hulk's eyes, a lot, especially in the transformation scenes. And I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
This movie has some really good parts to it.
Yeah, it does.
I'd forgotten. Like, I would go so far as to say, as far as the action sequences, this may have Iron Man beat.
You think so? Oh, really?
As far as the action sequences.
Yeah, I mean, there's some big, Hulk does it big, especially when you bring in Abomination in Hulk, which is the villain we have here.
Yeah.
Huge.
But one of the problems I have with this movie is Liv Tyler.
Yeah. See, Betty is always a problem. I
don't know if Betty's always a problem.
I mean, even I'm a huge...
But Liv Tyler is Betty.
I'm just a huge Hulk fan in general, and I know that's kind of the driving force, but Betty's always like a thorn in my side. She causes
more than Rick Jones?
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. She causes, to me, more problems than she helps with. And she's always kind of a bland character. She's no Mary Jane, that's for sure.
Especially played by Liv Tyler.
But, Jennifer Connelly before, I know we're not talking much about 2003, but even Jennifer Connelly, man, seeing her play Betty Ross was like watching paint dry.
But I will give a pass to Jennifer Connelly, because you watch Jennifer Connelly and other things. Jennifer Connelly's a great actress.
Yeah.
And I think she was doing the best with what she had. And I think it's more of the writing of the character in Ang Lee's Hulk. But I think, you can almost say the same for Betty. Betty was written pretty poorly in this one, too.
Just in general, you have Bruce Banner, you have Thunderbolt Ross, you have all these characters, and Betty's in the middle is like the glue that kind of connects them all. It's like a model car, looks fantastic and awesome, but there's that glue inside. It has to be there to keep them together. You just don't want it.
But there's zero chemistry between Ed Norton and Liv Tyler.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to believe that these guys are, so in love, it's on a different level.
Yeah, you watch a Tony Stark and a Pepper Potts on screen, you see a big difference.
There's a great chemistry there.
Yeah.
There's none between Ed Norton and Liv Tyler. Those are the worst scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's I think it's a lack of chemistry. I think it's a lack of, I don't want to say Liv Tyler is a terrible actress, but
I just think it's a tough role. Betty, it's just, I'm a fan of the comic series.
Maybe if she'd been written better,
character.
She could have.
Character.
But I tried to go back and think, okay, what did I like Liv Tyler in that I've seen? Empire Records, she's okay.
Yeah.
See, I thought it was kind of the same in That Thing You Do.
Yeah.
She's
always the same. That is her.
It's so one-dimensional.
She is the female Denzel Washington.
She's got like 3 emotions that she can there's like 3 emotions in Liv Tyler's repertoire.
Yeah.
And it was hard to watch.
Agreed. Yeah.
It was hard to watch her on screen.
Yeah.
But I will say the action sequences are great.
Yeah.
From that first transformation inside the bottling plant all the way through the college. It was so smart to do that shot in that big field in that college.
Like the Dragon Con kind of habit trails there, like those little the glass tunnel.
Yeah, that's where it starts.
Yeah.
But having that huge open field, you get to see Hulk run, and run along a Humvee, and
Just kind of shoulder tackle it.
Yeah, or the sound cannon.
Yeah.
That was developed by Stark Industries.
Oh, really? Interesting.
If you just watch the opening credits, there are so many Easter eggs.
Really?
That I'd never noticed until I watched it for this. There's like 3 S.H.I.E.L.D. references.
Really?
There's a Nick Fury. There's a memo signed by Nick Fury.
That's funny.
There's the blueprints for that sound cannon designed by Stark Industries. There's like a list that says known associates, and Rick Jones is on there.
Oh, wow.
And there was one more. Oh, what did I write down?
God, it's been a long time since I've seen this.
Yeah, Stark Industries, S.H.I.E.L.D., Rick Jones, and of course all the Easter eggs from the original series.
Yeah. So what did you think of General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross coming back as William Hurt instead of Sam Elliott?
I think William Hurt is great as Thunderbolt Ross. I think he embodies that character and his performance with the cigar, smoking constantly, and just his attitude towards Bruce Banner. Like, you hate him.
Oh, yeah.
At some points, you absolutely hate Thunderbolt Ross.
There's a time he's doing a job as far as the military standards go, but he also hates this guy for the bare necessity that, he's trying to date his daughter. It's like a double hate going on there.
Well, and 2, he doesn't want to help Bruce Banner or cure Bruce Banner. He wants the Hulk as a weapon.
Right.
Which is,
I think, realistic. If we had that kind of thing now, people would want to kind of contain that and tackle that and use that for their own profit. I think so.
Yeah, well, I mean, and you can tell because they still have the super soldier serum.
Exactly.
That they use basically to create, or a version of it, to create Abomination. But yeah, I thought William Hurt as Thunderbolt Ross is so good. And I was so afraid that we'd never see that character again.
Yeah.
Because once they brought Mark Ruffalo in as the Hulk, they don't really reference that movie a lot.
No.
Like, I know he said was in the Avengers. He said New York. Great. The last time I was in New York, I broke Queens. Which was, or not Queens, Harlem.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, I broke Harlem. Which was a reference to this movie because that's where the final fight takes place, is in Harlem. But they don't really talk a lot. Like, they never mention Betty Ross.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
It's all about Black Widow now.
Yeah.
But I was afraid we'd never see Thunderbolt Ross again. And 8 years later, was it 8 years?
Yeah, 8 years.
2008 to 2016?
Yeah.
8 years later, we finally see Thunderbolt Ross again in Civil War.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool.
Pretty awesome. Like, I love that portrayal of that character. It's so much deeper in the comics, and like you said, I'm glad they brought it back to kind of continue that story. I guess in Civil War, we never saw Hulk and Ross in the same screen at the same time, did we? Because Civil War, he wasn't there for Civil War.
No.
That's funny. I never thought about that.
But he did mention him.
Right, yeah.
And do any of you know where Banner is now?
Yeah.
Now, with your critical eye, what could have been better about this movie other than Betty?
That's a good question. Maybe a better Abomination was good,
but I had a problem with him too.
Yeah, I feel like there was something missing. I love Tim Roth as a fantastic actor. Even his human form was fantastic. Emil Blonsky, but that CGI version of it, I just don't have that.
It's because he talked.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
It's because he talked.
I think so.
He talked to the Hulk. He talked to Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah.
There was just something about that.
The look of him seemed a little bit different. I don't know. That seems not what I expected. Kind of had a Doomsday Batman v Superman feel to him. It wasn't necessarily bad. It's not what I'm used to, and I see that. I'm like, it doesn't really work for me so much.
Yeah.
I've seen him for so long in other mediums, and I couldn't take it in that form.
I agree with you.
And it was kind of, once again, like a Doomsday style. It was there for a very, very short amount of time as Abomination. And how serious can you take that?
But if it was better looking than Doomsday.
Oh, without a doubt.
Like, he was a better looking Doomsday than Doomsday was.
8 years later.
Yeah. Like, I could believe that if I'd seen that as Doomsday,
okay.
if he didn't talk, I would have been totally cool with it.
Yeah.
Like I said, the CG is really good. The action is fantastic and is better than I'd remembered.
Yeah.
I loved Edward Norton as Bruce Banner.
Because you have to have that change and that versatility of Bruce Banner and the Hulk. That's what makes the story so special. And they finally nailed that down in this one, where Bruce Banner can kind of control that. He's got the heart rate monitor. Anytime he gets worked up, even like sexual activity, he checks his stuff and he can't continue down that path. He's got to stop it. So I think it's cool because in the comics they do that. Like, his heartbeat and his pulse is very, very, very important because he can't get too worked up and become the Hulk. I like that.
You know what makes me sad watching this?
What's that?
Because I hadn't seen The Incredible Hulk, probably, even though I had it on Blu-ray. I hadn't watched it. I probably haven't seen it since maybe 2009, 2010, at most 2010. It looks dated.
Does it really? Wow.
Because his heart rate monitor.
Yeah.
I mean, when we think about that now, you think about
like an Apple Watch.
Watch or a Fitbit.
Yeah, yeah.
And when he has his heart rate monitor on his wrist, it's this huge, big screen.
Really?
With blocky, black and white numbers.
That's funny. In my head, it's like a modern looking. That's funny.
It's not.
Wow.
It's not modern looking at all.
Wow. Huh.
And some of the shots, like when you would see the screens, like the infrared screens for like cameras and some of the weapons and stuff.
Kind of rough.
It looks a little rough.
Really?
It looks very dated.
I should watch. It's been many years since I've seen it.
And that disappointed me because to me that's not a very old movie.
It's almost a decade now.
But it is almost a decade old.
Wow.
And the Hulk has bulletproof pants.
Right. Yeah. Which she finally does buy him some purple pants.
Yeah, which is fun.
Those are bought.
But yeah, when he's running and they're unloading on him.
Yeah.
And the bullets are just bouncing off. They also bounce off his pants.
Yeah. See, I don't want to.
Shouldn't they shoot his pants up?
I promise I won't talk too much about this anymore. But in the 2003's Hulk, that kind of stuff was taken into effect. Like when he grew too big and outgrew his pants, he was a butt naked Hulk.
That's true. Well, even they do it now.
Yeah, yeah.
Because when Ruffalo fell from the sky,
right?
I mean, that's how they approach it now.
Yeah,
they didn't with that movie.
But now Hulk has those stretchable pants. I guess Stark made those too.
Yeah. See, that's the great thing once you bring Tony Stark in. You can make anything.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm glad they went away from the idea in 2003's Hulk. The more angry he got, the bigger and stronger he got as well, and they kind of went away from that, where he goes from just Banner to a one-size Hulk, and that fit me better as a fan. I enjoyed that more. It's a cool concept. The angrier you get, the bigger and stronger you get, but it doesn't work out in film so well. When you have Hulk that is literally 25, 30 feet tall, it was a weird scale to it. So I'm glad they brought him down to a 7, 8, 9 feet high Hulk.
Yeah, because at least the interaction with humans is a little more believable at that
Do you remember
point.
the Jennifer Connelly looking up to a 25-foot tall Hulk the size of a tree? That was it was strange.
Uh-huh. I remember.
Punching the Hulk dogs in the balls. That happened.
Yeah, I know.
But those are from the comics. I mean,
one day we will go back and review Ang Lee's Hulk.
It's been many years since I've seen that. So I look back on it fondly, but it could be ruined if I watch it again.
And David Banner and Bruce Banner are characters in that.
But I think they nailed the rage in that movie. That's all I'll say about it.
And Ang Lee's?
Yeah, the Hulk rage, man. I remember those screams and those yells and those roars when he busts out of things, and they have him in that water tank and he busts out and screams. I remember those. It may look bad now, but back then it gave me a little comic chubby.
So, what did you think about Bruce Banner trying to approach all this with the kind of a zen approach?
It works, especially like the late 90s, early 2000s. Bruce Banner in the comics took that kind of approach.
Yeah,
even went out in the wilderness and lived off the fat of the land. Shaved his head, had a buzz cut. Hulk had like a cool buzz cut look for a while, and those were my favorite storylines. Was like early to mid 2000s Hulk stuff, and I feel like they took a lot from that. So I was down for it, kind of in hiding, and he knows the danger that the Hulk can be, and he knows that it'll never be stopped, and only he can stop that by being peaceful. And so he has to go on the run and just live a very quiet, lonesome life for the safety of others. And I thought that was awesome. I like that. It may be a boring story to tell, but it's I think it would be necessary if that were a real thing.
Do you wish Ed Norton had come back to continue playing?
Definitely. I said Ruffalo's good what he does now, but Edward Norton is my Bruce Banner.
There's no way he's going to tie himself to a franchise.
No,
I just don't think he's that kind of actor.
He's one of those. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
he's one of those guys.
But
now it's becoming more acceptable for those actors to do that kind of thing. But they'll never. Ruffalo's. Yeah, he's the guy.
Like he won't even talk about that movie much.
Probably not
in interviews and stuff.
Because it seems like from what I've read in Incredible Hulk in 2008 here, he had quite a bit of creative control to it. It seemed like he did.
Yeah,
I feel like wanted to come back. I still don't know the details if it was a creative difference or a contract difference, maybe a little bit of both. But something happened somewhere. Maybe it was because he had so much creative control and this movie didn't do so well. That's what happened. I don't know.
That's true.
That is the last solo Hulk movie almost 10 years ago we have now, so who knows?
But I do have a bit of I never hated that movie. Mm-hmm. I always thought that was a good movie.
Yeah.
The bad is very noticeable, such as Betty Ross.
Yeah. And they teased the leader, and I want the leader now.
That's just what I was about to say.
It bothers me. I love that character.
We've never seen in the MCU because the Hulk didn't kill Abomination.
Right, yeah.
Like Betty stopped him from killing Abomination.
Choking him out with a big chain, right? Is that what was going on?
That was a great scene.
I do remember. Yeah, it was good.
That was
the
such
rage.
a good scene. So Abomination is still somewhere.
Yeah.
And so is the leader, apparently.
Yeah, Samuel Stern, he's out there.
And they've never done anything with that.
No.
Do you think they'll ever do anything with that?
Maybe in a dark time in a few years, but I don't know what's going to happen with the current lineup of Avengers. Who knows what's going to happen here?
But I could see the leader.
I would love that, yeah.
Playing into a cosmic story of some sort.
Yeah. But it's tough because they're going to have to harken back. If they start that movie now, they have to go back. Hey, remember this sub-story from a movie that came out over 10 years ago?
Well, there was an after-credit scene, right?
This is the only movie in the
leader?
MCU never had any mid- or post-credit scene. No, the actual, what people think of as the post-credit scene was with Tony Stark.
Yeah,
that was before the credits started. So this is the only movie in MCU with no mid- or post-credit scene.
Yeah, this is at the very end of the movie.
Reload.
Smell of stale beer and defeat. You know, I hate to say I told you so, General, but that super soldier program was put on ice for a reason. I've always felt that hardware was much more reliable.
Stark.
General.
You always wear such nice suits.
Touche. I hear you have an unusual problem.
You should talk.
You should listen. What if I told you we were putting a team together?
Who's we?
And when we saw that, we were going to say, it's the Avengers!
Crazy.
They're putting the Avengers together!
It'll take 4 years for that to happen.
I
too.
know.
That's crazy, right? And they make it seem like there's so much, not bigger things ahead, but in the long run, Thunderbolt Ross had nothing at all to do with that at all.
No, we don't see him again until he's pushing this.
And he's against the Avengers pretty much at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, the Accords.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, because we got Nick Fury at the end of the original Iron Man.
Right, yeah.
That was the post-credit scene during the credits, in-credit scene.
But it could be like a Paramount thing. This is the only MCU movie to have no post or mid-credit scene at all.
That's an interesting point that you bring up, because we're going back, this and Iron Man, and even Iron Man 2 were before Disney was involved.
Right.
So Paramount was the distribution company for Iron Man. Universal was the distribution company for The Incredible Hulk.
Oh, that's what it was. Universal. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Universal.
And then I think when we do Iron Man 2, that'll be another Paramount.
Right.
They might have been back and forth up to the Avengers.
Probably so.
I don't know what the first, I'd have to look and see what the first Disney MCU movie was. Another thing I noticed too, like if you went to see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, you notice there's a whole new Marvel, studios opening.
Yeah.
That's just clips from all these movies, from Iron Man to Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy and all that. At the beginning of this, they were still using the flip, the comics flipping through pages, where you can't make out any heroes.
That's funny.
You can't make out any heroes in it. And
Really?
I know why. Because now, you look back and you think, well, why wouldn't they use Iron Man? Well, there'd only been one Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
Well, why didn't they do Captain? Oh, they hadn't had a Captain America movie.
That's funny.
Every recognizable hero they could have used in that comic book flip would not be a movie they could make. They couldn't put Spider-Man.
Right.
They couldn't put Wolverine.
Yeah.
They couldn't put the Fantastic Four.
Wow.
This was as, the Marvel Studios are trying to build these heroes that they actually have film rights to.
Wow.
It's amazing what they've done.
That's true, yeah. Do you think with Disney acquiring those rights, do they see The Incredible Hulk as too violent to have his own movie, maybe? It's okay to scatter in 30 seconds here, 2 minutes there, but to have 90 minutes of straight obliteration and violence and pounding, is that not what Disney wants to do? Because
they dropped the city.
Fanboyism aside.
They dropped a whole city out of the sky.
A standalone movie of the Hulk would be huge. I mean, really. Financial-wise, wouldn't it be? I mean, really. You don't think so?
I think the Hulk is really good. Like, I think Thor Ragnarok is probably, it might end up being your favorite Hulk movie.
Yeah, it's possible.
Because
when I saw that trailer, I was literally jumping for joy.
Yeah.
I was jumping.
Hulk in his armor?
Yeah.
Will you buy that Hot Toys when it comes out?
I would like to.
Because you know that's going to happen.
I'm curious if those comics are going to go skyrocket.
Oh,
Because I have every single first print.
Yes, they will. Planet Hulk?
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
I think Hulk is a great secondary character. I don't know if he's strong enough to lead another movie once you go past the origin story. And even in what they did with the Incredible Hulk, even though it wasn't the origin story, it was the MCU origin story.
Yeah.
And I think that's your standalone Hulk story. And I think anything else, which is fun because, I mean, Iron Man's going to be in a Spider-Man movie. So I think he's a good, strong B character to have. I mean, he stole the Avengers.
Yeah, yeah.
But if that was all Hulk for 2 hours, would he have stolen that movie? Probably not. Because he steals the movie by getting him in small doses throughout the movie.
That's what the character is. I mean, you can have a whole issue with just like the last panel being a Hulk appearance. The rest is Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
It kind of makes it the big pop.
Though I do think Mark Ruffalo fits the collective of that Avengers world now.
You think it visual-wise, just acting abilities? What makes you think he fits more?
Acting, personality. Mm-hmm. I don't think you would have gotten the dynamic. Because one of my favorite things about Avengers 2 was the whole Tony Stark, Bruce Banner stuff.
Yeah, Ed Norton has pretty much zero comedic chops.
Right.
Unless you're talking Death to Smoochie, which is pretty damn funny.
Yeah. Pretty good. Not bad. I mean, he's got his moments.
Yeah.
He can do one-liners here and there. He's more good at playing vulnerable characters. Mm-hmm. And that's how he's portrayed in this one.
Yeah.
So, compared to 2008's Iron Man or The Incredible Hulk, what's the better movie?
Iron Man's a better movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to put Iron Man above The Incredible Hulk?
Yeah, I can say that.
Okay, I would do the same too.
Taking the fanboyism out of it, I'm going to say that.
So as we go along, I'm going to keep a running tally.
Okay.
As we compare the next movie to the previous two.
Yeah, so far, Iron Man is the best. Incredible Hulk's number 2.
I can go ahead and tell you, I enjoyed this movie more than Iron Man 2.
Oh, that's good.
I'd put Incredible Hulk.
It seems like watching it again, you have better thoughts of it now than you did before.
I never hated it.
Yeah.
I never hated the movie. I always thought it was a good movie. I'm telling you though, that Liv Tyler stuff.
Yeah, it's rough, right?
Yeah. And I didn't realize the guy from her boyfriend that just disappears like halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
Like he's introduced. Mm-hmm. He's from the ABC show.
Ty Burrell's his name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now he is, I mean, it's Doc Samson. He's a bigger character in the Hulk world, and I think they're going to build him up for that, where he kind of takes on that character's role a little more strongly.
Yeah.
Without doing too many spoilers, but it didn't happen though. Mr. Blue.
Well, if you go to watch the trailer for The Incredible Hulk, the whole opening of that trailer is the two of them talking.
Really?
And it's not in the movie.
Really? It's one of those, huh?
Yeah. It's basically because he's a psychiatrist.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's basically, chatting with him.
Yeah.
It's basically like a meeting with a psychiatrist.
Huh.
And it's not in the movie.
Weird. Yeah, later in the comics, he gets some Hulk blood himself, as most people do.
Yeah.
Do you think like a She-Hulk could have her own movie? I say that a lot, but I think it's time for a She-Hulk.
I could see, as we go into the Marvel Cosmic universe, I could see them introducing She-Hulk.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I would like it.
Standalone movie? I don't know. But but you don't have to do standalone movies anymore. That's the beautiful thing about this now. I mean, that was technically a Captain America movie last year.
Right, yeah. I guess so, yeah, sure. We could say that.
It had all the Avengers in it. I mean, you had the Falcon and Iron Man, or Ant-Man.
Yeah, just like the Superman movie last year had, everyone, right? Had the whole Justice League and Doomsday.
Wow.
And Lex Luthor.
And Lois Lane.
Yeah, everyone was in there.
And Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Even Cyborg showed up a little bit. Some Flash, some Aquaman.
Lois Lane! You have to find Lois Lane!
Sorry to bring it down like that.
That's okay.
But I'm glad you enjoyed it upon another
Yeah, I really enjoyed watching The Incredible Hulk again.
That's good.
So next Tuesday, we'll review the next movie in the MCU. Because we got to double these up some.
Okay, we do that.
To get them all done by next year.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That's funny, yeah.
We've done so many.
It's that many.
Yeah. Can you name them all?
Well, maybe.
Can you name them in order that they were released?
Ooh, probably not.
Let's see if we can do it right quick.
Okay.
So it's starting, you said Iron Man. The Incredible Hulk.
Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2.
Captain America.
Nope.
Is Thor first?
Thor's
before Captain America.
Yep.
You sure?
Pretty sure. Because it was Captain America, the first Avenger.
Yeah.
And then that went into the Avengers.
Wow, yes. Thor, Captain America. Then the Avengers. Then Thor 2.
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
I can't do this. Then Thor 2.
Then Thor 2. I think it's Thor 2. Yeah, I think that's it. That's right. Iron Man 3. Then Thor 2.
Then
The Dark World.
Yeah, and then Winter Soldier. This is where it gets fuzzy.
Age of Ultron?
That's Yeah, Age of Ultron. Right?
And then Ant-Man.
Are we missing some? We're because Guardians is before Ant-Man.
Oh, Guardians.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Guardians was also before Age of Ultron.
Right.
So it was Iron Man 3, Thor, Dark World, Guardians of the Galaxy, Age of Ultron, Ant-Man.
Civil War?
What was after? Yeah, Civil War.
It was Ant-Man straight into Civil War?
Civil War.
Yeah.
And then Doctor Strange.
Yeah. And Guardians 2?
And then Guardians 2.
I feel like we've missed something. I almost know we have.
No, because we got all 3 Captain America movies.
Yeah.
And both Thor movies.
All
and
3 Iron Man.
Yeah. And then Thor Ragnarok's this fall.
Yeah.
That's it.
And Spider-Man.
So that's what, 16?
That's a lot.
Yeah, counting Spider-Man.
Yeah.
16. Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot.
We'll get through all of them eventually.
One day.
Hey, you can check us out online at adamandjp.com.
On Facebook.com/AdamandJP and on Twitter at AdamandJP. Check it out.
Hey, if you need to do some internet shopping between now and next week, I suggest you use the Amazon store at ESOpodcast.com.
Yeah, do that. It's a fun one.
Go find The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, go buy that on DVD or beta or whatever.
Or for some fidget spinners.
Just go to someone's front porch.
Or a Tamagotchi. I'm Jay Patrick. That's Adam.
Eat your podcast roll.
This has been a production of the Adam and JP family of on-demand talk radio.
AdamandJP.com.
Right now.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network, your station for all things geek, classic, current, and beyond. Be part of the crew at ESONetwork.com.